I am Katrina from Shutter Hire Photography, based in Cardiff, South Wales. I am an avid user of Katebackdrop's backdrops. As you can see, I've got one of their designs up behind me. So I am looking forward to my Christmas photo shoots this year. Every year I pick a different backdrop from Katebackdrops for my Christmas photo shoots. So I have requested this backdrop, which I will show you in a minute. I'm just going to get out the packaging and just talk you through a little bit about their backdrops. So they tend to come in this sort of like grey parcel packaging. When you get them out then, they are nicely protected in another piece of plastic packaging. They come folded up. So as you can see, the design is here. You can see the design straight away. This is really handy because when your backdrops are folded up neatly, folded away when they're out of use, if you fold them in this same way, you can just see the design and be able to pick the one that you want. Find this really handy. I always try and fold them exactly the same way, so when they're all in a stack folded away, I can just flick through and say, oh right, that's the one that I need. So it's July, but I like to be nice and organised, so what I'm going to do is get it out of the packaging, I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to do some test shoots using my daughter, just so that I can show my prospective clients what my shoots are going to be looking like this year, just to give them the appetite to book with me. It's really important for me that I use a different backdrop every single year. I don't want my clients getting bored of the same backdrops. So I'm going to get this out and I'm going to show you how I prep it ready for a session. Obviously, with it being folded up, it's going to be creased. It's going to come with creases in it. The creases actually aren't that bad, but you wouldn't want to have them in your photos. So it's really important that you get them out and prep them ready ahead of your session. I like to iron them first and then I set them up, and if there are still any more creases, I'll get like a hand steamer and I'll steam them out afterwards. So the first thing that I do is I prep an area in my studio, a nice big area that I can work with. The backdrops that I use are 3 meters by 2 meters, so I need a nice big area on the floor to be able to get my backdrop out, spread it out, because I'm going to iron it. Now you can use an ironing board for this, but I have a wooden floor, and I find it much easier just to spread my backdrop out on the floor and give it an iron that way. First of all, I give it all a good hoover because I don't want my backdrop picking up any debris on my floor, because that would just be a nightmare to have to pick all that off afterwards. So give my floor a hoover first, put my backdrop down, and then I give it a good iron over. The reason I prefer to do it this way is because when I'm doing it with an ironing board, I find the surface area of the ironing board way too small because the backdrops I use are so big. And what I find is I end up missing a bit. So when I spread it out on the floor and I do it on the floor, I can see exactly the areas that I need to go over. So this is how I choose to get the wrinkles out of my backdrop. Spread it all out on my floor and then I'll iron it. So I'll start obviously at the one end and work my way back. Give it a good bit of a steam as well whilst you're going along. With the iron settings, make sure that it's not too hot because you don't want to damage the material. Make sure that your backdrop is face down so that you're ironing the back of it as well, because once again you don't want to damage the design on the front of it. So yeah, just give it a good going over. Once you've done that, hang it up and see if there's any more creases. If there are, you can use a hand steamer then. So I'm just going to give this a good iron. So I've got a steam iron. Every now and again I just use the steam function just to get those wrinkles out, which I think works quite well. Okay, so I've ironed the backdrop now. I'm going to put it up on my backdrop system and I'm going to see if there's any more wrinkles left. If there are, I'm just going to hand steam them out. Okay, so I've just put this up rough for now. I'm going to go around and just tweak it and make sure that it looks right and that it sits on the floor nicely. Once I've done that, then I'll check it for wrinkles, and if there are any, I'm just going to steam them out with a hand steamer. I'm actually really pleased with the progress of my ironing. I'm never usually this good. There are still a couple of wrinkles, especially at the bottom of the backdrop, so I'm just going to go around quickly and give it a nice little steam with my hand steamer. But this process is basically taking me about 10 minutes, so quick and easy to do. So I don't know how well you can see on the backdrop, but there are some wrinkles, so I'm just going to run this steamer over and get them out. It's really easy to do. This steamer I picked up from Argos, I think it was like £20. They're really, really good. You can get them on Amazon, Argos, loads of different places. This one in particular is called Steamworks. But yeah, grab yourself one of these. They're really handy to have. When you use the steamer, I like to put it directly onto the cloth. I feel like it works best. If you're too far away, don't think it has much of a difference. If you actually touch the cloth with it, the wrinkles come out really quickly. Just be careful not to do it for too long because you don't want to discolour the material. So the wrinkles are falling out already. That's how quick it works. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial of how to get the wrinkles out of a Katebackdrop's backdrop. Hope you found it useful. Just a little recap of how I did it. I like to use my floor, get a nice big space ready on my floor, make sure that it's hoovered of any debris. Then I'll get my iron and give it a going over with the iron, pop it up and just give it a steam if there's any wrinkles left. I'm really happy with how it looks, can't wait to dress up my scene now and start doing my test shoots. Thank you.